started over the weekend, and it has to do with the accident that occurred on the Volta Lake, where 13 bodies have been retrieved from the Volta River following Sunday's boat disaster, which initially killed 6 children. The deceased were among over 60 persons traveling on the Volta Lake. According to survivors, the boat ran into a storm, causing it to capsize and drowning some of its passengers off board. Now let's go to the phone and speak with Davidson Nanayaw Akwada, who is the Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety. Hello and good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to your viewers.
Now, this is not the very first time we've had such a disaster recorded on the Volta Lake. As a public safety expert, do you see us as a country taking this seriously, and what do you make of this very current disaster?
Well, thank you very much. I think you rightly put it. This is not the first time as a country we are experiencing this. In recent, it seems to us that every year there is some occurrence on the Volta Lake. What, as a people, I think we have failed to do is to make public the findings of several investigation committees that we have put in place to investigate incidents on the Volta Lake. In our estimation, we think that we must have a no travel time on the Volta Lake, or we must be able to indicate places where boats can ride and cannot ride. This is possible. The military, we can get the assistance of the military to make this possible. If traveling on the Volta Lake is a necessity at some time of the year when the lake has dried up and gone so low so as to make boats come in contact with the tree stumps, it should be possible for us to have a way around to navigate through this lake without these incidents coming on. By merely putting boats, loads of people out there and providing them life vests is not enough. And in the face of these deaths that we are occurring, it will be irresponsible knowing that people will at some point in time come get involved in accidents, and we expect them to remain afloat for hours before rescue comes.
Okay. Now, even before we touch on life jackets, with these pointers you've given, have you in any way suggested with the other stakeholders, and are they even interested in these suggestions?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, as far back as 2013, we wrote to the Ministry of Transport asking them to make available copies of various investigation reports of incidents that have occurred on Volta Lake. We did not even get a letter acknowledging receipt of our request. And since then, we've not gone back to it, but we've been very vocal on it. We've put it out there that until investigation reports are made public for you and I to consume, to be able to say, this is what was recommended. It is shallow. This is what was recommended. This man or that institution has failed to act. We will be going in circles like this for a long time to come.
Do you intend following up from the ministry or at the ministry to ensure that you get the needed results which you're looking at?
Absolutely. The Bureau of Public Safety is planning on setting a day aside to look at some of these public issues, incidents that have, stricken the conscience of the nation, like many deaths that have also gone that the police have not been able to answer for that. And on that particular day, we are going to call on various state institutions to make as it were, to account to Ghanaians. And I think that this will fall in line with somewhat a follow-up call.
Okay. Now, finally, to the life jackets, there are some instances where these disasters occur, and after investigations, we find out that there were life jackets there, and these persons on board, passengers, didn't want them. And there are some instances where there aren't life jackets at all. What is the problem with the wearing of life jackets, and how best can we educate passengers to ensure that every time they get to that point, they wear their life jackets even before they get on the boat?
That's the point. That's the point we thought, that if life jackets must be part of traveling on the Volta Lake, then we must make it legally so that just as when you board a plane, one message that you heard it several times is always repeated to you. When you board a boat, you must necessarily be educated on life jacket and the need for the life jacket. Until we get to that time where we will have law enforcement, distributing their powers across the citizenry, we will have things like this happening, because most people would naturally want to do things their way, not the way the state requires. And by so doing, people end up putting themselves in harm's way, which is why we have called that the state must engage the public in some of these interventions. In the absence of that, if you keep investigation reports to your chest all the time and we do not know exactly what is in there and what is expected of people, everybody will do what they like, and we wake up tomorrow and hear such sad news again.
Thank you very much for your time. Davidson Nana Yaw Akwada is the Executive Director of Bureau of Public Safety.